Welcome to GuideMia. Today we're going to talk about sharing a file from your Cympha cloud. Sometimes you don't need a case, you just need a colleague, a referring doctor, or a designer to look at one file. Cympha's share feature does exactly that: one file, one email address, done in under a minute. In this short lecture you'll learn how to send a share from my cloud, where you and the recipient each see it afterwards, what the recipient can and cannot do with it, and how to revoke access when you're finished. As always, everything comes straight from the written guide on cympha.com. Follow along on screen, or listen now and read later. First, make sure a share is the right tool. A share is a pointer to one file, addressed to one specific email address. A case is a structured workflow: patient information, files, status, approval, payment. The dividing line is what you want the other person to do. If you want them to do work on the files, design something, approve a plan, create a case, there's a separate lecture on spinning a case from a cloud folder. But if it's a quick handoff, look at this scan, download this export, tell me if the framing is okay, a share is faster and lighter. No treatment plan, no approval flow, no patient form. Just the file and the person. You need two things in hand. First, the file must already be sitting in your cloud. If it's still on your desktop, upload it first. The file management lecture covers that. Second, the recipient's email address, because every share is addressed to a specific email. There is no public link and no anonymous link. You cannot generate an address that anyone can open. That's a deliberate design. Dental files deserve a named recipient. And here's the nice part: the recipient does not need a Cympha account yet. If they're new, the share is bound to their email and will be waiting for them the moment they sign up with that address. If they already have an account, it simply lands in their My Shares section. Sending takes 5 clicks. Open your cloud page and navigate into the folder that holds the file, using the breadcrumb to keep your bearings. On the Files row, click the 3-dot More Actions button on the right and choose Share. A dialog opens with just 2 inputs. Recipient email is the only required field. Type or paste the address, and double-check it, because the share binds to exactly what you type. The second input is an optional message, free text that travels with the share. Use it for context, something like updated scan after the retake, let me know if the framing is okay. Then click Share to confirm. Cympha records the share against that email and sends the recipient an email on your behalf. That's it, the handoff is in flight. To confirm it went out, scroll down to the My Shares section of the same cloud page. It has 2 sides. Shared by Me lists every share you've created. The one you just sent appears with the file name and the recipient's email, so you can verify at a glance that you sent the right file to the right person. Shared with Me is the mirror image, everything other people have sent to you. One more detail worth knowing: if the file is a viewable 3-dimensional format, the share card offers a viewer action, which means your recipient can open the file in Cympha Studio right in their browser, without downloading anything or installing any software. For a quick clinical look, that's often all they need. Now flip to the other side. Your recipient gets an email from Cympha. If they're already a Cympha user, the share also appears in their Shared with Me section right away. If they're new, they sign up with the same email address you sent to, and the share is waiting for them when they arrive. What can they do with it? View it. Viewable formats open in Cympha Studio, and download it. And that is the whole list. They cannot rename it, delete it, move it, or reshare it to someone else, and they cannot see anything else in your cloud, not the folder it lives in, not your other files, nothing. The share is a window onto exactly one file. When you're done, take the access back. On the Shared by Me side, use the revoke action on the shares card, and the recipient loses access. If you change your mind later, just share the file again, it'll be a fresh share. Now the fine print, and it all follows from one fact: a share points at the file's stored location. Rename or move the file after sharing, and the share can break. Delete the file, and the recipient gets a download error, so revoke deliberately rather than delete and forget. And remember the 7-day cloud retention that applies to all of my cloud. The file itself will be swept after 7 days, so a share is a short-term handoff by design. For anything long-lived, attach the file to a case instead. 3 failure modes cover nearly everything. If the toast says the share failed, the most common cause is simply a typo in the recipient's email. Reopen the dialog and try again. If the recipient says they can't see the share, check which address they're signed in with. The share is bound to the exact email you entered. If they have multiple accounts, it won't appear under any other address they use. Reshare to the right one. And if the recipient gets a download error, the file has probably been renamed, moved, or deleted in your cloud since you shared it, or the 7-day retention swept it. Check that the file still exists where it was when you shared, and send a fresh share if needed. That's the whole feature, small on purpose. If you find yourself sharing the same patient's files again and again, that's the signal you've outgrown shares. Organize the files into a folder and create a case from it, so the work gets a status, an approval flow, and permanent storage. That flow has its own lecture in this series, along with one on opening cloud files in Cympha Studio. And if you just need to tidy the cloud itself, folders, renames, moves, the file management lecture walks through every menu. The written version of this guide, with every dialog and every failure mode, is at cympha.com. Head to the Docs section and share a file from your cloud. We're walking through every Cympha workflow, one lecture at a time, so subscribe if you'd like the rest of the series. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.